So in today's video, we of course are going to be unboxing this brand new Fortinet 80F firewall here. One of the models that's of course uniquely there for small businesses to take advantage of. And so as we unbox this, we of course see that we have two slots or spaces for power adapters here. Then we've got these 8 ports. The last two of course aggregated for downstream switches. And we have here, of course, 2 pairs of interfaces for our WAN links. This again, you can choose to use either SFP or RJ45. And last but not least, our console port, USB, and our grounding screw. But let's go ahead and get this bad boy powered on. So go ahead and plug this in. We got this sweet little clip here to keep it secure and snug. Turn this around. We got all these LED status indicator lights here. But like we said, we need this LAN cable here so that we can get connected here to our local laptop. Now we're going to be doing the simple bare necessity configurations here just to get this laptop connected to the internet to get traffic moving basically in the outbound direction. This is the very first device on this network. So taking a look here, we see that we're presented 192.168.1.99. That is the default URL or IP address, of course, to reach our device here. The management over HTTPS. This is a self-signed cert. We got our command prompt here. We're going to be using that when we go downstairs in the basement. We'll do a constant ping to Google Quad 8. And then if we take a look here, we can see that we've got wireless disabled, again, just so no one can say, hey, there's a shortcut that you've done to provide that connectivity. There is no connectivity. It's just going to be basically hard line. And if we take a look here to ensure that we can reach that, really all we did was provided an IP that's on that subnet. Double click here and we see that the IP that we provided statically is just 1.1. And that's why we're able to reach or manage this device across the LAN. So we'll go ahead and click on Advanced, Proceed. And then here, the default username is admin, no password. So we'll go ahead and click Login. Required to change our password. So we'll leave the old password blank. We'll type let's do a rather lengthy one here. And we'll come back and clean up configurations. But like we said, we just want to get the base configurations, get that reachability and see, of course, how we do that. So now let's go ahead and type that new password here to get in the console, GUI, UI, whatever you want to call it. All right, so it asked us, do we want to specify the host name, dashboard setup? We'll do that later. So again, we've already got our cut sheet from the ISP Verizon. So this, of course, is going to be the IP, the other side of the link, which is going to be the default gateway for all outbound traffic. And of course, that subnet mask. We need these criteria or parameters to configure here. But taking a look around, we see different menus and submenus, but if we just go to, we'll start with system, we see we see a red circle there, FortiGuard, that's not licensed just yet. Probably do that in another video. This would be where we would add another administrative user. We would probably, sure you can change the username for the local admin. Don't want to keep that. Underneath settings, we'll come back and change the host name. We'll just leave it like that for now. We'll go ahead and change this to Eastern time zone and we'll keep the rest of these settings. But in a later video, we'll probably change the default SSH port and perhaps HTTPS as well to help secure. We'll click apply. Now, really, we need about 3, 4, I haven't thought this all the way through, different configurations. Of course, starting with this WAN link. So let's go ahead and click on network, interfaces. And we see here that we are connected to interface 1 gig. This is how we're managing this device. But if we double click on WAN 1, we will need to, actually let's bring this up and keep it down here, make this a little bit smaller, just a wee bit. And this will be our cheat sheet / cut sheet. And let's see, we'll change this to a manual address. Our side, of course, is going to be this IP. And then we see that we need the dotted decimal notation. I left off the 7 up front. There's an N /255.0. All right, so we got that. We will uncheck this and we'll just leave ping available across the WAN so that the downstream device can know that we're alive. We'll click OK. Let's keep moving. That's good. We see DNS here, and they did provide their DNS servers, but for now, we'll just leave these. We'll come back and change them later. Can temporarily use almost any DNS server. That's okay, because we don't have any applications or any back-end devices. Next, we need to set the static route for outbound traffic. So we'll go ahead and click on Create New. This is going to be for quad 0 or all unknown traffic. And then subnet, we won't be using the internet service. And then we'll copy this IP here. And then we will use this as our, we will place this in this gateway address. Interface will be WAN 1. All right, so we'll go ahead and select that. We'll keep the default admin distance, but we know static routes, at least on a Cisco device, I think everywhere routing though, is 1. But let's see. So all set there, that's enabled. All right, so thinking from the outbound direction, we need NAT in the outbound. We need our traffic to be permitted. And when we plug in hardline, no wireless yet, we're going to need DHCP services. So let's go back to interfaces and let's take a look at, we'll stay in port 1 downstairs, but we see here our internal one, as they call it. If we double click and take a look, by default on a lot of FortiGate devices, I guess they make it an easy or simplified setup. So these first 6 ports are all associated into this internal membership. We see that this is to reach this device. But if we scroll down a wee bit, we see that DHCP is already configured. So we'll probably pull .110 when we get down there and go to DHCP in our settings. So we don't need to set that up. DHCP is good to go. All right, let's go to policies and firewall policy. And we see here by default, again, we don't have any database, web app, etc. inside our LAN yet. We're setting up this at the boundary. So we are needing to go in the outbound direction. But we don't want all, we don't like these all. So let's say that the source, let's double click this. Let's just spruce up this default rule. We'll call this outbound internet traffic. I think it's a wee bit, a lot of letters. Incoming, internal, cool. Outgoing, WAN 1. So for the source, yeah, I think let's make a, let's create a address group address. Let's just do an address. And we'll call this LAN for now. We'll give this the address. I like this dotted notation. 192.168.1.0/255.0. This interface we'll set to internal. We will leave the comment off for now, but typically we would write something there. So now Let's select LAN. Destination. Let's do a quad 0. We'll call that new address. I really don't like the way this is. We'll call it quad zeros. Quad 0. Again, you can get fancy with this, play around with it, and we'll leave it like that. And new address. Okay. We'll see that warning, but we'll click OK. Destination. We'll call this quad 0. Close. Accept. And then again, the last thing that we need is NAT, and they already have it configured to use the outgoing interface. So it's going to translate the internal IPs to this IP address here when we need to communicate on the internet. So we're good to go there. We'll click OK. And technically, we should be all set. Let me mentally think. Not messing with VPNs. We're not messing with controllers. And then this yellow is because I think our WAN link is down. Our destination interface is down. So we're all set. We're basically going to go downstairs and basically plug this firewall up in the basement where it's going to reside. And then through the same internal interface 1, we're going to basically start our pings quad 8. So let's go ahead and head on down. All right, so let's head on down to the basement. And of course, we're going to need to power the firewall back up and then get rid of this static IP. So again, excuse the mess and the noise. Slide this here. And been in IT enough, you know, we always try to find boxes, or we use different things to set up our peripheries and whatnot. All right, so there we go. Yeah, we're plugged up. All right. And we'll wait for the firewall to come back. But let's go ahead and get this quad 0. Well, not quad 0. This constant ping going. We got that. Let's go back in here and let's change this to DHCP. I found that this sweet, simple little beast actually fires up pretty quick. It takes these Palo Alto firewalls a while to come up, aside from their commit, of course. So we set that to DHCP, and we'll see if the configs that we did should take effect as soon as this device comes up and hands out that IP. So, all right, we'll wait. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see, something frozen. Ooh, slow. Yeah, let's pull another one up. All right, that's what we want. Notepad. Command prompt. Unreachable. All right, let's see. thumbs up. All right, let's take a look for traffic on that. Actually, not the interface. We need to look at the policy. So we'll go firewall policy, see if anything's hitting that in the outbound direction. No bites just yet. Is this port? Oh, slow. We do need to plug in the WAN link. Yes. Yes, that would be smart. All right, so there we go. WAN link 1. Layer 1, as we used to always say back in the day. And there we see the pings going through. So we know that our config was set up just right. I don't know if this will change here before we, let's just click something and then click away. All right, but we go back here and we should then, yeah, we see traffic now going across, matching our single policy. All right, if we go to ESPN, we see that it's loading. And again, just for no cheats, we did not do any shystiness or shadiness and enable Wi-Fi, so we're good to go there. And then we could look either in the firewall itself or at the adapter, and we'll see if it handed out that .110, which it should be handing them out sequentially. Yeah, so we pulled the first available IP. So that's pretty much it. Like we said, easy breezy. And in this video, we just set up our initial setup with a Fortinet firewall connected to the ISP. And again, this is a gig link, so we'll do some speed tests here. But again, the impetus was to demonstrate the unboxing of this Fortinet firewall, and then to show how, regardless of if you're a small business or big business, you apply the same principles. You've got your WAN interface, you've got a LAN, one single client, this laptop. You've got computers, you've got phones, you've got printers, you got virtual, that will come later, but you need to set up that initial link to the outside world and ensure that traffic can get out and back in. And then we'll, of course, harden this device and provide some additional configurations there in a upcoming video. But we're all set, and I just want to thank each and every one of you again out there for rocking in here with me today. So until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, peace.